I like to have my little block here just so that I can sit here for a little bit longer. But you know, challenge yourself to see what feels good for you. As you settle in, maybe shifting the hips a little bit side to side, just so you can really feel this nice long line between the space right below the tailbone and the back of the neck up through the crown of the head. You just place the palms face down and just let your eyes come to close. And just begin to settle here. Been thinking a lot about this relationship between doing, being, and having, sort of relationship between the gunas in yogic philosophy, and sort of these three modes that we all traverse throughout our day-to-day. We do, we have, and then we be, or we are, you know, we exist in this sort of peaceful, blissful state. And a lot of yogis talk about this sort of being, this sattvic space, as sort of this optimal place to be. And, you know, I was thinking about it a lot, and especially with all that's happening in our world right now. And, you know, it's not sustainable to simply be. We'd like to find that space and become quite familiar with it so that we can access it. But it's not so sustainable to always simply be. Just as the same kind of goes for, it's not sustainable to always do, and it's not sustainable to always have. So I think throughout this practice, and perhaps throughout the day, we can carry this with us. It's just becoming a little bit more aware of when we traverse these three modes of life, to be, to do, and to have. Perhaps exploring what that might mean for you. I know a lot of New Yorkers do actually need to practice more being. We do a lot of doing. So I think if we can sit with that a little bit today. And take a deep breath in. And let it go through the mouth. Take a deep breath in through the nose. And let it out through the mouth. One more like that, deep breath. Let it out through the mouth. You can join me for an Om if you'd like. Deep breath in. Allowing the vibrations in the body to be alive and awake as we notice these deeper sensations in the body. We can drop in to ourselves. And on your next inhale, go ahead and lift the chin to the sky. As you exhale, dropping the chin into the chest, just beginning to find some motion into the upper body. Inhaling to lift the chin, maybe the chest open. Exhaling to drop a chin to the chest, upper spine maybe curved. Deep breath in to open. Deep breath out to close. When you drop the chin, see if you can really pull in and condense the front of the body. Inhaling to open, expand, find the crease in the front of the hips as the pelvis rocks forward. Exhaling, carving through the space as you curl the spine. Deep breath in. Deep breath out. At your own timing, just doing a few more of these, really seeing if you can find there's the outer boundaries of the shapes that you're finding. Allowing the bones to really press against the muscles from within. Tapping into where your body's at today. Finding a neutral spine from here. You can bring the palms together in a clasp and go ahead and just start drawing some circles with them. And our Kishore always does a lot of um, like wrist and shoulder opening, which is actually quite beautiful because the hands are there's this direct link to the heart. Switch directions if you are able. So as we move through today's practice, I think, we're all trying to sort of get in our heart space. So being mindful that like these hands are really sort of this direct line into that, which is nice. Release the hands and go ahead and take one of your hands and hold on to the fingers, flipping the palm forward. And just give it a nice open stretch. You can sort of play with pulling it down, maybe lifting it up. That's kind of an interesting thing. Is pulling it up. I feel more in the inner forearm there. Kind of nice. Go ahead and let that go. Maybe give some little flicks to the wrist. And go ahead and try the other side. Again, seeing, even playing with like where the shoulder is. Sometimes we lift up the shoulder when we do things with our hands. So seeing if you can press the shoulder down. And I like lifting it up actually. It's quite nice. From there, as you're ready, just giving it a little bit of a flick. You can take both palms and press them out to the side. And just seeing if you can actually roll the shoulders up and then press them down the back of the body. Press out through the heels. Super nice stretch in the inner arm. Take a deep breath in. Deep breath out. The fingers go first. Drawing the palms back in together to clasp. Lift the palms, lift them up over the head. And then again, drop the shoulders down. Yeah, this feels really good if you want to just go there for a moment, almost like you're lifting the spine off of the pelvis. And then you can press the shoulders down and find a little bit more of a sustainable shape. The shoulders are really interesting. We all have quite different mobility in the shoulders, whether that's the bone placement or just our muscle tension. Now, as you inhale, go ahead and begin to lift the gaze a little bit here. Again, rocking the pelvis forward to crease the hips. And then as you exhale, you can curve the spine forward. Same motion as before, a little bit different with the rib cage open in this way. Inhale to open. Exhale to close the front of the body. I talk about expanding the front of the body on the inhale. And then as you exhale, really condensing the front of the body, almost if you could imagine the cells of the body coming closer together. Deep breath in. Deep breath out. Do two more like that. Inhale. Maybe the arms begin to float behind the head. And as you exhale, carving forward. One more inhale. This time pausing above, seeing if you can drop the shoulder blades down the spine as you arch the back slightly, heart opening. The shoulder blades almost supporting the heart from behind. Take a deep inhale. As you exhale, letting go of the fingertips, spreading the arms out through the space and letting them plug into the earth next to you. Closing the eyes for a moment and noticing. So quite nice in the arms and the heart space. And from here, we'll just shift the hips over to the right. So kind of like you're sitting just on the right heel. You can place the left palm down on the ground right outside of the ankle, and then sweep the right arm towards the left, and then open up the heart towards the sky. And inhale to open up the heart a little bit more. And as you exhale, seeing if you can roll that right rib cage over the heart. Inhale to open. And exhale to carve forward. Two more like this. Inhale. Really reaching with the fingertips. Exhale, folding. One more like this. Inhale. And the same as you exhale, the right palm can come down outside of the right knee, or left knee, sorry. So the palms are sort of directly in front of the knee and the ankle, pressing into the palms or the fingertips, drawing the heart space back, sort of like a twisted cat spine. It's a little bit of a compressed twist right here. You'll just take 2 breaths. Take a deep breath in. Deep breath out. Really drawing the chin into the chest. One more inhale. And exhaling here. And walking the palms towards center. You can lift up the hips just a little bit if your knees are feeling a little bit of tension, and just sort of find a little bit of movement before sitting back down. And then we'll go on to the other side. So shifting the hips up and over, sort of like you're sitting on that left heel this time, placing the right palm down, and then sweeping the left arm out and over, really reaching. Yeah, there's this beautiful pressure in the right palm that allows us to press out and reach away. Seeing if you can really open up as you inhale, rolling the heart open. Exhale to carve through the space. The left rib cage this time rolls over the heart. Deep breath in, opening. Exhale, closing it down. Expanding and condensing. Deep breath in. Deep breath out. Two more. Inhale, opening. Exhale, closing. One more, opening. Exhale to close. This time the left palm comes out of side of the right knee. Finding this sort of, I don't know what this shape would be called, but yeah, like a twisted cat. So if you press into the palms, it allows the back of the heart to lift, and you can draw the chin into the chest. Just 2 deep breaths here. Inhale. Exhale, folding, compressing in the front of the body. Deep breath in. Exhaling. Walking the palms back towards center. And depending on where you're at, I'm just going to turn this way so you guys can see. You can remove the blocks from underneath you, and we'll go into our toe opening pose. I'm just tucking all the toes under, and we're going to add some spinal traction. I don't know if either of you have done this with me. Possible. I know we've done this a lot, but as you find yourself up here, we're going to find a nice release in the low spine at the same time, sort of like a multi-purpose posture. So taking the heels of the hands and placing them in the crease of the hip, and then just leaning forward a little bit, seeing if you can, depending on the length of your arms, see if you can lock the elbows, and it'll actually provide a nice sort of release in the spine. You can play with this. Yeah, if your elbows don't want to do that, that's fine. Just see if you can press into the hips just to give the back a little bit of a release here. I like to sort of wag my pelvis a little bit just to give a little release. And then once you find a place to settle, I know it's not so comfortable, but seeing if you can begin to let go of any tension, like drawing the eyes to close. You can even let the chin fall into the chest. We'll just take about 5 breaths here. Seeing if when you breathe in, if you can feel the breath even in the bottoms of the feet as they're opening. And as you exhale, it's really just the bones melting, softening, letting go of the tension. Deep breath in, expanding, feeling the body, the base of the pelvis open, heart open. Exhaling, letting it go. 2 more breaths here. Inhale. Exhale. Feel like stretching the lungs with the breath. Inhale, opening. Exhale, letting it go. You can sort of let go of the arms first, place the palms down, and just untuck the toes rather than tapping them out. Just sit back onto the heels and just give yourself a little bit of a rock side to side, feeling the residual effects. I've said this before, but it's funny that toe pose always makes me sweat. It really is like waking up the whole body. It's quite nice. And then from here, just walking the palms forward, dropping the forehead down to the earth. You can let that rock continue. It feels a little bit different when you're in your child's pose. And then find a place to settle. Noticing the creases in the body, where the torso and the thighs meet, the crease in the hips, the crease in the back of the knees, where the hamstrings meet the calf muscles. And the shins are pressing into the earth. Forehead is resting. We love child's pose. And begin to crawl the fingertips a little bit farther forward. And see how far you can really reach them. You might notice a release in the low spine again. And pressing into the palms, you're going to draw your chin into the chest, in towards the tailbone. We'll be moving through our cat spine as you begin to lift the hips, really, really condensed front body. And as you shift the hips forward, you begin to open up and roll through the spine to open up the chest. The head is the last to roll up for this sort of lazy up dog. In this shape, seeing if you can press into the palms, really engage the shoulder blades against the spine. Maybe tucking in the tail a little bit. Yeah, we like to splay the belly. See if you can draw the belly into the spine to protect the low spine. Take a deep breath in. Deep breath out. From here, the tailbone will lead you back. So seeing if you can disengage the back of the tailbone, and that reaches back, move through a cow spine, quite briefly, nice and yummy, open, and then shifting the hips all the way back, finding your child's pose. Take a deep breath here. Let it go. It'll move through that again. So really initiating with the chin and the tail tucking toward one another, super, super condensed front body, rolling through the spine as the hips begin to drop, unfurling, sort of like the frond of a leaf, it's like opening, this beautiful sense of like coming from within to then open out, pressing into the palms to allow the heart to reach forward. Chest is spreading, tailbone is tucked under. Take a deep breath in. And from here, tailbone initiates. So you're really arching through the low spine, pausing for a moment in that yummy cow pose. Opening, 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 and then shifting back to your child's pose. You can move through this a couple times at your own pace. Seeing if you can really carve through space. Yeah, so you're breathing. Just seeing if you can really, I love this image of the bones kind of pressing against the muscles from the inside. And even then, like as if the air was a little bit thicker, which it is a little bit thicker today, I think, all around, this sort of hot, humid, lusciousness. As long as you can sort of lean into that. And then one or two more of these, really enjoying the sensations of the body. And then your next child's pose, just pausing here. You can draw the palms back so that they rest next to the feet. And just enjoy this little seed shape. I'm surrounded by nature here, so I'm quite inspired by all of the plants. They teach us a lot. Yeah. We'll move through a couple of moon salutations rather than our sun salutations today. And we don't really need to build more heat, so we can just enjoy the heat that already exists in the body. And go ahead and hold on to the heels from here. And as you inhale, sort of lifting up the head, tucking the chin more into the chest and placing the crown of the head on the earth. And then letting all of the breath go, finding this nice, really condensed space. Take a deep breath in to begin lifting up the hips, opening up the back of the heart for rabbit pose. Taking that deep breath. And then as you exhale, letting the hips come back down towards the heels. You can inhale to roll up through the spine, nice and slow. Arms begin to sweep high. The gaze meets the fingertips above. Exhaling, palms pass through prayer, reaching them forward, nice arched spine. Finding that child's pose, fingertips reach as far forward as you can. Inhale, chin and tail tucked together, rolling through your cat spine. And then exhaling to let the hips fall between the wrists. Yeah, same sort of place we were just at. Maybe rocking side to side, that feels kind of nice. And then tucking the toes to engage in your full up dog. Yeah, same feet we've already been through, same spine. Seeing if you can again tuck the belly in just a little bit to protect the low spine. We'll take a deep breath in, pressing into the palms, backs of the knees are super inflated. And as you exhale, the tailbone leads you into your first down dog. I'm finding a few breaths here, walking through the feet. It's quite early over here. I think I've just done a couple dogs so far today. So you've maybe done some down dogs already as well. If not, this is the first one, which is fabulous. Just getting to know this today. Finding your stillness when you're ready. See if you can really plug the shoulder blades into the rib cage. Just be really aware of the shape, the palms against the earth, the tailbone reaching, the sits bone spreading apart as the inner rib cage sort of pulls together. Take a deep breath in. Let it out through the mouth. This time as you inhale, lifting the right leg high, opening up the hips to stack the pelvis, bending the right knee, and finding a little bit of movement here if that feels good. Yeah, playing with the sort of opening and closing of the pelvis. We talk a lot about in yoga, keeping the hips square. We open the pelvis that is not square, but it feels really good. And as you're ready, inhaling to square the pelvis, so rotating that right hip to allow the toes to point down. Take another inhale to lift the inner heel a little bit higher. And as you exhale, step outside of the right palm, letting the left knee and toes come down to the mat. Tense the fingertips here as you inhale, sliding the hips and the chest forward, finding a nice lizard pose. If you like, you can place the palms down. Yeah, this sort of protects the wrist a little bit and keeps us a little bit more lifted. You can rock side to side here, especially early on. Just getting to know this front hip, see where we're at today. And then also you get a little bit of sort of gooiness in that right outer hip. Lots going on here. Take a deep breath in. Deep breath out. Settling in center. Taking one more inhale. Exhale, softening. Pressing into the palms, shifting the hips back. You can begin to extend that right knee, but you can keep the toes of the right foot on the ground. Yeah, so this, rather than flexing and going all the way into your Ardha Manasana, you can press into the front foot and allow this right knee to stay a little bit bent. You can lower the torso. You'll find a nice stretch in this sort of outer hamstring, maybe rocking side to side in this shape as well. For anybody that's a runner, this is quite nice. The outer hamstring is really, gets very tight. It kind of feels like ropes for a lot of us, even if you don't run. I'm finding a little bit of movement, maybe even some little circles with the hips. Noticing if anything's sort of rolling around in the hamstring. Being gentle, but just leaning into the sensation. And keeping the pressure back into the palms. You can keep that right knee bent, almost like a runner's lunge. And then just take a moment to see if you can open up the front of the body as if you were moving into a cow pose. This will get a little bit more into that right hip, really reaching the heart forward and seeing if you can even arch the tailbone back. Yeah, it doesn't, rather than tucking it down, seeing if you can lift the tailbone. Quite nice. Take a deep breath in, deep breath out. One more inhale here. And then as you exhale, tucking the back toes behind you, shifting the hips forward. Inhale to lift the knee off of the ground, heart reaches forward. And as you exhale, stepping that left foot outside of the left palm, hips sink down for an early Malasana. Yeah, depending where you're at, there's no way that any of these postures really need to look, especially you two know what you're doing. So just, sometimes you just have to do what feels good. I like to shift a lot in this, especially early on, keeping my palms on the ground, just shifting the hips side to side, Maybe we're up here, just listening what feels good right now, and allowing the breath to carry that. Taking a deep breath in, letting it out. Inhale. Exhale, letting it go. Pressing into the palms, lifting the hips high, heel toeing the feet about hip width apart, and letting the knees be soft. And be shifting the weight side to side, front and back. Really letting the back of the neck go. And the hips sort of lift high. Tailbone lifting, the sits bone spreading apart. Allowing for the low spine to fall. Taking a deep breath in. Let it out through the mouth. One more like that. Inhale. Exhale, letting it go. Bending the knees a little bit more so you can find that connection again between the chin and the tailbone. Carving through, condensing the front body as you begin to roll up, pressing through the feet, arms and head super heavy. Eventually, the knees begin to straighten. Shoulders can come up to the ears, then fall down the back of the body, palms face forward. Lift up the toes off of the mat, spread nice and wide, and then plant them deep into the earth. Yeah, you can even lift up the heels, the feet, the toes are so planted that the heels could almost lift. And then keep them pressing down. Yeah, lifting with the front of the body, the belly reaches into the heart, tail reaches down, kneecaps lift, open heart, slight tuck in the chin. Take a deep breath in here. Let it go. I am here. It's a great moment to sort of check in with yourself in this beautiful Tadasana. Sometimes I like to ask myself why I'm doing this. Sometimes I ask myself, what am I doing? It's a nice moment to, again, drop into the body. Take a deep breath. Let it go. Inhale, arms sweep high. Exhale, fold forward. Let the hips crease, the knees slightly bend. Inhale for your halfway lift. And exhale, planting the palms, stepping the right leg back. Knee and toes come to the mat. So our legs are a little bit closer in this time. And begin to soften the hips forward. And then go ahead and crawl up onto this left knee with the palms. And then pressing into the palms to lift the chest. Yeah. So often our pelvis sort of does this thing where we slide it forward and we open it because it feels good. I'm doing it from here using the palms as sort of a space. We could pull the hips back into alignment and then shift them forward. Yeah, you can even play between that. It's not like it's a bad thing. Our hips play and then pulling them back together, really gathering the base of the pelvis and then shifting the hips forward. Yeah, it's a little bit safer for the body. Take a deep breath in. Exhale, really pressing into the earth. You can inhale the right arm to sweep high. Then as you exhale, reaching for the back left corner. It's a nice like open front body. Just reaching out and up, nice rainbow effect. It's quite nice in the front of the right hip. Take a deep breath in, pressing and reaching. Exhaling. Deep breath in. As you exhale, the right palm can come outside of the left knee. And from here, I like to place this left palm on the back of the body. We're just going to find a nice gentle twist again. Yeah, if you feel up for it, you can drop down into the elbow to get a little bit more of pressure. But this is also fine up here. Yeah, let's see if you can reach the eyes for the back of the room. Take a deep breath in. Maybe letting the hips slide forward as you exhale. One more inhale. And as you exhale, the palms can come back and frame that left foot, tucking the back toes, stepping back, finding your downward facing dog.
As you inhale, tucking the chin towards the tailbone, rolling through the spine, finding your plank pose for a moment, pressing into the palms so that the shoulder blades attach to the rib cage, heels reach, crown of the head reaches, collarbone spread. Take a deep breath in. As you exhale, hips begin to lower between the wrists, open the heart for your up dog. And then dropping the knees down, untuck the toes, send the hips back, finding your child's pose. You can draw the palms back towards the feet, maybe finding a nice little rock in this seed shape. Rock pose, seed pose. This is like the ultimate place of being. And think of a seed before it has started to sprout. It's so beautiful because, you know, to be doesn't mean that potential doesn't exist. Yeah, the seed of a big oak tree is so small and so quiet, yet it has this beautiful potential to become this incredible tree. It's a good lesson. We can learn a lot from the plants around us. I'm finding more and more. Take a deep breath in here. Let it go. Inhale to fill the body, feeling the body expand against itself. And letting it go. Holding on to the heels as you inhale, lifting the head, placing it close to the knees. Exhaling, inhaling to lift the hips, opening up the back of the body, lift, lift, lift. And exhaling, hips come back down to the heels. Inhale to roll up through the spine. Palms begin to sweep high, lifting the gaze with the fingertips. Palms meet. Exhale, palms pass through center. Reaching them out nice and long for your child's pose. Reaching as far as you can. Chin and tail tuck towards one another as you inhale. Moving through that cat spine. Hips drop as you exhale. Maybe rocking side to side again. Maybe noticing, I feel a lot more energized actually than I did the last time. Maybe you don't. Just noticing however you feel. Tucking the toes to engage as you press into the palms. Hips are lifted, but you're still opening up the front of the body without crunching in the low spine. Yeah, super engaged. Take a deep breath in. Exhale, tailbone leads you back, finding your downward dog. Once again, checking in with this shape, maybe walking side to side. You shift the hips side to side, sort of opens up the rib cage as well, which is nice. Finding your stillness as you're ready. Practicing with integrity. As it's hard, we kind of visit these postures so often, but there's just so much information inside of it. So really engaging your full self in this beautiful down dog. Take a deep breath in. Exhale, letting it go. Inhaling to lift the left leg high this time, opening up the hips to stack the pelvis, bend that left knee, and then find some of that movement again. We're checking in with that sort of open versus closed. Just noticing the uniqueness of each leg. And breathing. As you're ready, inhaling to extend the leg long and squaring the pelvis. So rolling that left leg in, the inner thigh lifts, inner heel lifts, taking a deep breath in. Exhaling to step outside of the left palm this time. Right knee and toes come on down, plant the fingertips. Inhale to slide the hips forward, open heart, lizard pose. And finding some of that movement if you'd like. We rock the pelvis side to side, sort of massaging the front of this right hip, massaging the outside of this left hip. Opening the body. Taking a deep inhale. Exhaling. As you're ready, planting the palms, pressing into the ball of that left foot, begin shifting the hips back, finding this sort of almost half split. Yeah, depending on your flexibility and where you're at today, doesn't really matter, but just finding the space can almost also, depending on how much tension you hold in your legs, I have actually noticing this nice stretch in the front of my left shin. Taking a couple of breaths here. You can even draw the chin into the chest. Feels good to move the body. Sometimes we forget to remember that. Feels good to move. And from here, just planting the palms and shifting the hips a little bit forward. So you're really in this sort of like almost 90 degrees in both knees. And then from here, reaching the heart forward and the hips back. So seeing if you can find that action of cow pose. You might notice I have like one of my ligaments or something pops a little bit when I do that, which is okay. Like you don't want things to be painful, but things can be uncomfortable. That's okay. Yeah, finding a little bit of movement here if that feels good. Seeing if you can really roll the pelvis, sort of like you're sticking at your bum, and reach the heart forward. You'll get a different sensation in this left hamstring. The outer hamstring gets neglected often. Taking a deep breath in, deep breath out. Shifting the hips forward as you're ready, letting that go. Tucking the back toes. Inhale to lift the heart, lift the back knee. And then exhaling, stepping outside of the right foot, another malasana for you. And maybe this time you're ready for some stillness. Maybe you want to keep moving. It's okay either way. If you do choose to find stillness, seeing if you can press into the outer edges of the feet. You can even keep the fingertips on the ground to do this. It's a really nice sort of exploration of the pelvis, because oftentimes when we come into malasana, we really close the front of the body. But really we want to press into the outside of the body, almost like we're being held by something in the back body, so that we can actually open the front body. We're creating the space in front of us. We engage the glutes when we press into the outer edges of the feet. Elbows can come into the inner thighs. Just try it out. Take a deep breath in. Exhaling to let it go. Deepest breath. Exhaling, palms come back down to the earth. Inhale to lift the hips, heel toeing the feet, about hip width apart. Once again, finding any movement here. Like to kind of bend one knee and then the other. This is actually quite a nice action if you want to join me. Like bending the knees to really allow the hips to sway. Hips into the outer edges of the feet and the legs. You can keep that left knee bent this time and shift the hips over to the right. And walk the palms over to the front of the left corner of the mat. If that feels good, if you have blocks and that feels better, that's also good. Just taking a couple of breaths here, seeing if you can release the neck, really getting into the outside of that right leg. Take a deep breath in. Deep breath out. One more breath. As you exhale, just walking over to the other side. So straightening the left leg, this time bending the right knee, really allowing the hips to sort of sink back into the left heel. And then palms are over on the left or the right front corner of the mat. Dropping the chin. Letting something go here. Take a deep breath in. Deep breath out. 2 more breaths. Inhale. Exhale, letting it go. Deepest breath. Exhale, coming back to center. Soft bend in both knees. Chin and the tailbone reach together, condensing the front body as you begin to roll up through the spine, pressing into the feet.
Eventually, shoulders come up to ears, fall down the back of the body, lifting up the toes, spreading them wide and planting them back into the earth. Take a deep breath in. Exhale, belly reaches into the heart, checking in. What am I doing right now? Why am I choosing this practice? We don't always have answers, but it's good to ask questions to ourselves. Taking a deep breath in, letting it go. On your inhale, reaching the palms high, gaze lift. Exhale, folding forward, hips crease, palms meet the mat. You can inhale for your halfway lift. And as you exhale, stepping that left foot back this time, knee and toes come on down. Again, we're finding this a bit more narrow shape this time. Palms climb onto that right knee. And just noticing, our tendency again is to display the pelvis. And seeing if you can use the pressure of the palms or even just the pressure of the feet against the earth to gather the pelvis into this more square shape. And then from here, it's like shifting forward rather than, that's great too, but seeing if we can really gear into this sort of shifting forward. It's a little different. Take a deep breath in. Exhale, shifting a little forward. You can inhale the left palm high this time, reaching it out and over towards the back right corner of the room. You can inhale to reach away. And exhale, seeing if you can, again, shift the hips a little bit forward, keeping them square. Notice if you splay open, gathering it back up, and then moving into the posture. Take a deep breath in. Exhale, opening the front of the left hip and the belly. So nice. Deep breath in. And exhaling fully. You can drop this left palm down this time to the outside of the right knee. Right palm comes to the hips. And either staying here or maybe finding a twist with the elbow. I like to stay a little bit higher. You press into the palm and the knee, sort of this nice pressure play. And then reaching the eyes for the back of the room. Seeing if maybe you can draw the hips a little farther forward. Really nice stretch in the front of the left hip up into the belly. Nice twist. Take a deep breath in. Exhaling. Deepest breath. Exhaling fully. One more breath here. And as you exhale, palms come back down onto the earth, tucking the back toes, stepping back to your downward facing dog. Chin and tail tucked together as you inhale to roll through the spine, finding that plank pose, reaching the crown and the heel away from one another, shoulders away from the ears. Nice, strong posture. We can do a little shoulder moment here. So staying in your plank or dropping to your knees if you'd like, you can challenge yourself. You're gonna draw the shoulder blades together and then press into the palms to open them apart. Nice shoulder push up. So the elbows stay straight and they're almost turning towards the front of the room. And then letting the heart fall between the arms, pressing into the palms to lift and open the shoulder blades. We'll do this 5 times. You can find the breath, inhale or exhale on each moment. Dropping down, pressing in, dropping down, pressing down, falling, and lifting. 2 more, dropping, and lifting. 1 more. This time pelvis drops. If you find this lazy up dog, you can untuck the toes. I'm just shifting the weight from palm to palm, of relieving that pressure in the shoulders, and then shifting the hips back, finding maybe that cow pose really quick, and then finding your child's pose. You can rock the hips side to side. Having a nice sort of luscious class, taking our time, indulging in the body.
And this time, fingertips reach far, far away from the body, planting the palms. Chin tucks into the chest, tailbone reaches, finding that cat spine, tucking the toes, and then shifting right back up into your down dog. From here, heels lift as you inhale. Exhaling, bending the knees deeply. You can step or float to the top of the mat, wherever you're at. You can inhale to lift the palms high, reaching the gaze high. Exhale, palms come to the heart. We're just going to do a little balancing series. Again, we don't need to burn ourselves up too much. So we can shift the weight into the left foot and go ahead and lift the right heel. Turn out that right knee towards the side. And just notice when you do that, what happens in this leg. The right inner thigh is rolling up and really pressing down into this left foot. You can lift, and we're moving into our tree pose. So wherever you'd like to move into today. If you want to go up into the inner thigh, inner calf muscle, you can kickstand as well. Just bringing the palms into the heart space for now, and seeing if you can really find a deep sense of stability. Even if you're wavering around a little bit, really rooting into that left foot and seeing if you can find a nice place to rest your eyeballs. Reaching down with the tailbone, you pull up through this left leg, like pressing into the earth so much that the left thigh engages and the tailbone roots down. The right inner thigh is spinning, 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 reaching out towards the right. It's a very active posture. Yeah, if you're leaning in to that left hip, seeing if you can reach down and engage the pelvis. Take a deep breath. Exhaling. You can inhale to reach the arms high. And just find a little bit of movement here. So as you inhale, fingertips reach high. And as you exhale, you can leave the eyes where they are, but you're going to twist the shoulders to the left. Arms just float down. Really find a little bit of movement here. It's a good challenge for us. Inhale, arms scoop high. So right fingertips reach front, left fingertips reach back. And you'll do the same to the right. So turning the shoulders, left fingertips reach front, right fingertips reach back, carving through the space. Inhale, they sweep high, lifting high. Just one more time each side. Check in with the pelvis, super engaged. Exhale, twisting to the left, fingertips reach away. Yeah, it's like the more engaged we become, this sort of deeper embodiment. Yeah, really allowing the muscles and the body to do its work on an energetic level. Reaching away, twisting to the right. Inhale to lift the arms high. And this time you can exhale the palms to the heart. Beautiful. Can draw that right knee in towards the center so it releases. And grab onto that right knee. It's a nice sort of release. See if you can really root down through that right hip bone. And then from here, we'll move into a figure four chair. So crossing the right ankle over the left knee, palms can come back into the heart, and just shifting the hips back into the heel. You can bend that left knee and just sit back a little bit. Notice if you reach the tailbone back, you get more of a stretch in that right hip. You can kind of play around with the orientation of the pelvis. You can stay balanced here if you want, or you can drop the fingertips down to the ground. I feel like I have a little bit more control over the sensation when I do this. But if you want more balance, then go for it. Now, seeing if you can bend that left knee a little bit more. We'll just take about 5 more breaths here. This is our yummy hip opener. Take a deep inhale. Exhaling, letting the chest be soft if your fingers are on the ground. Deep breath in. If you're balancing, seeing if you can really plug into that left foot. Take a deep breath in. Exhaling. 2 more breaths. One more breath. And wherever you are, palms can come down to the earth. And just stretching that left leg straight, slide the right leg over the left. From here, walking the palms over to the front right corner of the mat. You can let that right knee be soft, finding that nice sort of cross-legged forward fold to really open up the outer left hip once again. Taking just 2 breaths here. Inhale. Exhaling. Deep breath in. And deep breath out. Walking the palms back towards center. Shifting into the right foot to step together. You can inhale for a halfway lift. And as you exhale, planting the palms, stepping or floating to the back of the mat. Finding your plank as you inhale. And exhale, lowering the body down, knees, chest, chin, or chaturanga, elbows into the rib cage. Inhale the heart to lift, forward cobra or up dog. And exhale, hips up and back, finding your downward facing dog. Taking a deep breath in here. Letting it go. Inhale, heels lift nice and high. And as you exhale, bending the knees and stepping forward or hopping if that works for you. You can inhale to lift the heart, lift the gaze, lift the eyes, lift the torso. And exhale, palms to the heart. We'll go to the other side. Yeah, just nice, simple balancing series. So planting the right foot this time. I like to lift up the toes and spread them really wide to plant them down. Sort of engages this entire right side body. So lifting up with this right hip, super engaged, and then finding your tree pose wherever you want to go. Yeah, sometimes we do things differently on each side. That's fine. If you find what's working for you today, because the palms can meet at the heart. And then we're just going to build the musculature here. I like to, it's a good meditation for the body. So pressing deep into that right foot. Notice when you press so much into that right foot, this right thigh begins to engage. You can even feel the muscles press against this left foot as you lift the kneecap. This left inner thigh rolling up and out. You really engage that left hip. Yeah, if you're splaying the rib cage, seeing if you can bring sort of lacing together of the ribs. Nice tall spine, back of the neck is super long. Taking a deep breath in here. Exhaling. You can inhale to lift the arms high. And we'll go through our little funny movement here. Embodying the movement of the trees. It's like they go through the wind, but they don't really fall over unless the wind is really intense, but our wind isn't that intense right now. Yeah, inhaling to reach a little higher. And then exhaling, left fingertips reach front, right fingertips reach back. Leaving the gaze where it is. You could challenge yourself by moving the eyes. Makes it a lot harder, but totally possible. Inhaling to lift the fingertips high. And then switching sides. So right fingertips reach front, left fingertips reach back. Swimming through the space. Inhale to reach forward, engaging the pelvis. Exhale, switching sides to the right. Inhale, fingertips reach out and up. To the left. Reach them up nice and high. And drawing the palms back to the heart. Sometimes tree feels so stable, sometimes it doesn't. And it's okay. Yeah, our bodies change. You can bring the left knee into the center, releasing the foot, and hold on to that knee for a moment. Really, again, seeing if you can sort of root down with the left tailbone. Taking a deep breath in. And exhaling, letting it go. And find that figure 4 on this side. So drawing the left ankle over the sort of lower right quad, right above the knee. And then shifting, you can keep the palms at the heart to start. I don't have very good balance right now, that's okay. Shifting the hips back, almost rooting, it's like finding the crease in the pelvis to allow for this deeper opening in the left outer hip. Yeah, so pouring the pelvis forward.
palms at the heart for just 2 more breaths. And if you want to stay here, perfect. If you want to tent the fingertips and place them on the ground, gives a little bit more control over the stretch here. And let's find about 5 more breaths. And seeing if you can really, this beautiful like pouring of the pelvis forward, lifting with the tailbone so that you can really open up that left hip. Taking 3 more breaths. One more deepest breath. And exhale to let it all go. Straightening that right knee, dropping the left foot outside of the right, and walking the fingertips over to the left front corner. Right knee, or left knee is bent, right knee is straight. Just leaning back into that right heel. You can let the neck go if there's tension there. Taking 2 more breaths. And walking the palms back to center, shifting into the right foot to step into the left, feet together. Inhale for a halfway lift. Exhale, planting the palms, stepping or hopping back to bent elbows, finding your plank, taking a deep breath in. And exhale, lowering the body down. Inhale, heart lift forward. And exhale, shifting the hips back, finding your child's pose. And draw the palms back to the heels. We're almost there. And we'll find this yummy camel unfolding, folding situation. I learned this from Kishore, and I feel like it really is the best way to experience camel pose. You can inhale to begin to lift the chin, lifting the gaze, opening up the chest, and then continuing to lift the heart, lifting, carving through the space, pressing into the feet, leaning back as far as you can, and then from there, the hips begin to lift. Opening up the front of the body, finding your camel pose, taking a deep breath in here. Exhale, rooting down through the tailbone, pressing into the tops of the feet. 1 more breath. And as you exhale, shifting the hips back, still leaning. And then the heart leads you back down towards your little seed pose here. Taking a breath, letting it go. We'll go through that a little bit quicker, just 2 more times. So holding on to the heels, lifting the gaze as you inhale. Finding your breath, like circular breathing. Leaning back, lifting the heart, pressing into the feet. Hips unfold as you lean back, shifting the hips forward, camel pose. Taking just 1 deep breath here. As you exhale, shifting the hips back, leaning back, folding, heart reaches forward, all the way back down. Taking an inhale. Letting it go. 1 more time. Inhaling to lift the eyes, carving through the space with the spine, opening, leaning. So yummy as you press into the feet, hips begin to open and lift, shifting the hips forward over the knees, inhaling. And exhaling, hips shift back, leaning back, creasing in the hips as you begin to fold forward. Letting that go. You can place the palms under the shoulders, rolling up through the spine, and just take a moment in your Virasana. You can let the palms be face up. Maybe the eyes close for a moment. Just a short, brief moment of check-in. Mm, I was thinking we would do a headstand today. I know Francis has a headstand practice. Liz, how do you feel about headstands? You feel good? You feel okay? Awesome. I'll walk us through it and you'll get where you get. Be safe. But really, you know, I always like to remind myself like we're so close to the ground. As long as we are soft when we fall, it's okay. So just be aware if there's anything in front of you or behind you. So to get into this, this is my favorite way to go into it. I place my forearms on the ground and you can cross the forearms so that they touch the elbows. And that's a good measure for the shoulders being right over the elbows. Clasping the palms in front of you. And before you even drop your head, just take a moment. Remember that nice shoulder exercise that we did? So if you drop the heart between the shoulders, this is going to make it really hard to balance and to sort of keep yourself safe. So pressing into the forearms, super engaged. I like to think about the shoulder blades against the rib cage. It's like they're plugged in, yeah? So just check in with this. Maybe we do it a couple times just to like get that muscle memory going. And then you're gonna place the head into the basket. You wanna place the back of the head so that crown of the head is what's on the ground. So you should be able to see your toes and your knees and everything. And then even here, before we even lift the knees, again, pressing into the palm or the forearms to again engage. You want to keep your head on the ground, but you do want to keep the shoulders engaged. You can tuck the toes behind you and then lift the hips up from here. Yeah. So this, I always like to say, it's like this is a perfect place to be. This is actually a great place to find strength as you build. If you want to keep going and you feel okay, you can walk the toes towards the face. And really what you want to do is reach the tailbone high. So sometimes we crunch down, but see again, pressing into the forearms to get the shoulders away from the ears, and then lift the tailbone high. And really you want the tailbone to come over the shoulders. And then from here, you can bring one heel up and place it down, the other heel up, place it down. This is another great place to find strength. If you're leaning into your head, again, press into the elbows. Yeah, from here, if it's in your practice and you're ready to go ahead and fly up there. I'm gonna come check out what you guys are doing. Nice job. Beautiful. Liz, can you reach your tailbone a little bit higher? Yeah, and press the shoulders away from the ears. Beautiful. So don't hop, be gentle. It's almost like you want to arch the low spine. Give it one more try. Yeah, beautiful. Yeah, you're so close. Nice. And when you're ready, beautiful, you can go ahead and find a child's pose whenever. And just to let things rush back out of the head. Nice job, Francis. We got to get Scorpion going sometime. Just finding your child's pose for a moment. I feel like child's pose after inverting, it's like there's this sort of moment that happens when the blood feels good again. You feel like you're not going to pass out if you sit up too quick. You can just, when you feel ready and good, just rolling up through the spine, shifting the hips to one side and reaching the legs forward. We're just going to find last little bit of core work here because why not? With that summer abs, right? So a way that I like to get into boat pose is placing the palms outside of the knees and pressing the palms and the knees against one another, yeah? So you're not holding on to them, but rather it's really you're just placing the palms, and it's like this sort of dual engagement here. So you want to find this really nice parallel shape and press into the knees and the palms. Yeah, really nice sort of engagement of the front body and the outer hips. But it's a great way to find some stability. So from here, really lifting up the heart and then seeing if you can begin to lean back and away. And then you don't have to keep your hands there, yeah, but if you do, you can find a little bit more length in the spine. You can point or flex your feet, whatever you like. You can leave the palms here, or you can extend them forward. You can extend them up. I usually fall back if I do that, so we're just gonna do this. And then you can also lift the feet up. We're gonna keep them bent right now, and we're just gonna do a little alternation here. So you're gonna extend the right leg long, and then bring it back in to this nice, super parallel. If you're shaking, fabulous. It's your muscles working. Extend the left leg long, and then bring it down. Just 3 more on each side. Right leg extends and bends. Extends and bends. Really good for the front of the body. Yeah, check in if you want to bring the palms back in. See if you can extend the spine a little bit. 3 more. 1 and down. I said 3 more last time. Left and down. 1 more on each side. Inhale. Exhale, finding the breath. And lift and down. Reaching the arms forward. From here, just try it. If you fall, it's okay. Seeing if you can roll down through the spine, keeping the legs exactly where they are. 1 vertebrae at a time. How slowly can you move? Eventually making it all the way down. Drawing the knees into the chest and finding a nice little rock. I don't usually do core work in yoga class, but I felt inspired to. We could do more. We could do a whole yoga class on this, on anything. Yeah, drawing the arms out to a T or cactus, shifting the hips over to the right, dropping the knees over to the left. You can find an eagle bind with the legs if that feels better for you. Just trying to untuck that left shoulder. Taking about 3 to 5 breaths here. Letting some sound out through the mouth is really beneficial. You can feel it in your whole body, even if it's like a hum, or if it's really like a big old sigh. Like to remind myself, like each breath when we exhale, it's actually our body naturally letting go on a physiological level. So if we're trying to let go, breath is a great way to practice that. Just about 2 more breaths for you here. And drawing the knees back into the chest. Can give them a nice little squeeze, maybe rock around a little bit. And then transitioning to the other side, so hips over to the left, knees fall over to the right. Finding that similar shape if you found that eagle bind, untucking that right shoulder. And just letting your body be here. This is a moment to be. Notice if you're pressing away from the earth in any place, of holding tension, holding yourself away from the earth, and seeing if you can actually let yourself just be held. Releasing in the spine. About 3 more breaths or so. Drawing the knees back into the chest. Rocking side to side. Maybe finding your happy baby. Any last little bits that you need. And as you're ready from here, just reaching the legs nice and long. Maybe they're right outside of the mat. Give yourself some good space. You can reach the arms out next to the body, and then just make sure you have some space under the armpits. If you want a little bit more grounding, you can bend the elbows and place the palms on the belly. Let's find your Shavasana. Letting it all go. Yeah, Shavasana is really the ultimate place of being. We've done so much. We have accumulated so much. And here, we can simply be and allow the earth below you to hold you. And you can hold the air above you. So soft, super gentle. I am here. Once you're ready, you can begin to deepen the breath, allowing the breath to pour into the space that you've created in your own body, drawing some movement into the fingers and the toes, ankles and wrists, bending the knees and placing the soles of the feet on the earth, reaching the arms above the head. Rolling yourself to one side and pausing for a moment. Once again, seeing if you can allow yourself to be soft here. And pressing into the earth, finding your way towards your closing seat. And palms can meet in the heart space. Eyes are soft or closed. And just tuning in once again in this beautiful space that we create, that we sort of open up to ourselves during our practice. This beautiful exploration of the body and the mind, the soul, this sort of traversal between doing and being and having. It's all there for us. It's all there for us whenever we really need it. It just takes us looking a little deeper, tapping into the deeper wisdom of our own self. And deep gratitude for this space that always exists within each and every one of us. Taking a deep breath in, letting it go. Inhale for Om to seal the practice. Om. Bowing the chin to the chest, honoring all that has come before us, all of the unknown that is yet to come, and all that is with us in each and every moment. Thank you for a beautiful practice.